Missy Moreno,
Brian Edward,
our guest contributor, here to talk about some delicious food that we enjoyed at Lydia's. Lydia's Pittsburgh recently at Il Meglio de Mondi, which I believe is the best of both worlds.
And it wasn't even on to Mondi.
But the best of both worlds being,
Yes.
in this case, the delicious food paired with Italian beers. And I had not even, prior to this, considered Italy as a beer destination.
Right. Only the South Side for me, personally. The only beer destination I know of.
Some incredible pairings of beer with some elegant Italian dishes.
Italian,
Yeah,
yes.
and I was really impressed because typically you think of pairings, you think of wine. But what I want to say off the bat about this, I mean, the food was delicious, the beers were exquisite, but the pairings that Chef Voytish and Adam Greiner did were perfect.
Actually perfect. I've never knew that beer could make something taste better. I usually use the beer to numb the taste buds to do other things with myself. But this, it highlighted incredibly.
So it started with some little appetizers, a little appetizer station, and
which would have been an awesome, like, home-cooked meal by Mama.
and that was like kind of a bonus, and it looked like some sort of a lightly fried artichoke and bruschetta, which knocked our socks
Oh,
off.
that part. Yes,
Right,
yes,
we went
yes.
over to the little
We
station,
did.
so that was just sort of to wet the palate
And
a
I
little bit.
took a free magazine because they were there.
I think you took a couple. But the first official piece on the menu was the ricotta and butternut squash tart.
Guys,
This was
get the
incredible.
recipe on Pinterest if they even know about it. They don't even know. It's out of this world. It was like better than any macaroni and cheese and
It was.
vodka. I was like all of my childhood dreams wrapped into a square.
This
and
thing
slapped
showed up on the
plate.
table. I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah,
Because you
me
think
either.
tart, you think sweet,
Yeah.
kind of. And it was. It had a very natural sweetness. I think the squash gave it a sweet taste. And the ricotta being very, very mild cheese, it was a nice blend. But this thing was like cornbread on crack.
Yes!
And the beer that was paired with it, and of course, you know, we're going to probably butcher these Italian
Yes.
names, but Piccolo Birrifico.
Oh, that was really
or
good.
Birrifici-
Birrificio.
Right, maybe that Seasonette.
Piccolo Birrificio.
Farmhouse. And this, I thought was an excellent pairing. The beer was a little sweet to kind of complement the tart, but didn't outdo it. And then we moved to the tortellini zucca, which was roasted pumpkin tortellini, toasted almond, and sage brown butter.
All of those words make me happy before you even eat the thing.
This was delicious. That
It was-
tortellini, which they do make fresh in house, by the way, and you really could tell. I
Oh,
mean, when
you
you
could,
get when you
yes.
get fresh pasta, you know the difference.
Yes.
So, and if anybody I think knows about fresh quality pasta,
Oh, yeah.
it's Lydia.
Well, remember I chopped one in half just to, again, check out this pumpkin situation going on inside. And it was a paste from the heavens.
You know,
The Italian heaven.
and the beer that went with it was Via Emilia.
Oh,
A
yes.
Czech-style Pilsner. And that's the one thing that stood out with every one of these courses, just like the perfect complement of beer. And we talked to Adam afterwards and kind of
Yes.
said,
Oh, well, I
how do
think I
you-
even beckoned him over to...
well, yeah, because we said,
My
how do you...
compliments to the beer master.
Well, first of all, who did these pairings? We wanted to know, and it was he and Chef. And how do you go about them? What he said was interesting. A lot of times that the beer would come first. You know,
Right.
he would rather than try to pair a beer with the dish, he would try to pair a dish with the beer. And then the main course, which was the
Which
grilled,
they call it secondi.
so you maybe first course, second course.
Oh, right.
But this one was a little more substantial. And this, of course, was the grilled lamb loin chops, dried cherry red wine sauce, braised cabbage with prosciutto. Now, I'll say
Enough
this.
said.
Probably the best lamb I've had in a long time.
Probably the only lamb I've ever had.
And the surprise were the dried cherries and red wine sauce on top.
Which I was
mean,
like
that was...
licking that plate clean.
Now, I gotta tell you, I wasn't a
Wow.
fan of the braised cabbage that was underneath
See,
it. It
and
was
I
served.
specifically wrote cabbage is baller.
Birrificio Balladine. Super was the name of this beer
Oh,
that
yes.
accompanied this.
Super.
Now, it's called a strong pale ale. I didn't find it to be very strong, which is what was. I found it to be very mild. And lamb, you kind of think of as a mild meat, so I think it paired well. And another thing that Adam told us were that not only pairing the courses with the beer, but pairing the courses together. You know, the antipasti, the primi, the secondi, and the dolci. He and Chef got all courses that were indigenous to the same region, kind of like all the ingredients were from the same places in the world. So what grows together goes together, he said.
Yes, I wrote that as well. And I was like, now that's a t-shirt in the making. That's
so as if that
nice.
weren't enough, we were then treated to a dessert course, which was the chocolate torte with local honey sage gelato. Which,
when it arrived, I am from the Olive Garden mindset at times, where I'm like, where's my bigger brownie? So I was like, oh, this is good. And it was just enough because it was so decadent.
Yeah, it was very dense. It was very good quality. You didn't need any more than that little square.
Nope.
Probably about 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches, but that did it. And you don't really think about sage as being a flavor of ice cream. But but it really worked. And it was complemented, and this was just a very small garnish, but it made such a big difference, a sugared sage leaf.
It looked like a Sour Patch Kid, but it was a sage leaf.
The beer that went with this.
Yes, so I wrote a line on my menu here. It literally says, Sage made alive by the beer. I felt the beer that was Birra del Borgo. Again, I've never had a pairing of beers with food items that caused your taste buds to pop with each thing you brought into your mouth.
Yep, that's why, you know, a lot of thought goes into this. So that's the
absolutely.
Genziana.
It was like a magic show.
The Genziana was the beer that was paired with that. So it was sort of a perfect cap on a perfect evening. And we should say, too, that we had delightful dining companions. Yes, Emily and Liz from Whirl. We had a great time with them.
So fun.
I think they enjoyed it, too. But we had a lot of laughs, had a wonderful time. And Lydia's a beautiful atmosphere.
It was nice and cozy, and we were in that little nook, and the service was incredible. There was, when we got our drink, we got the drink at the bar to start. And I was like, should I carry my beer over? And this lady came over and was like, put it on my tray and I'll carry it. And I was like, fancy.
But no, we had a great time. We had a great time from beginning to end. So.
It was like a Kennywood for the taste buds. As we will note throughout our
And I mean, as you can, I'm a cocktail person.
Really?
You know, I'm not really. I know.
Miller High Life in a long stem is a nice Saturday afternoon.
That is living the high life. And the salad was very simple. It just
I was like, where's the
ranch?
ranch? Where's the Hidden Valley?
It was zesty, is what I had noted from that. It was an excellent pairing.
I noted it was like a fruit Capri Sun. Between the ricotta square and that thing, I was like, ding, 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 and check, please. And there was more to come.
Great taste to it.
One thing that was interesting, it was deceptive because it was kind of hard to cut into it. It was like, I felt like I was getting a
that's the
a
bone,
Pilates
dear.
work.
Thank God martinis go with anything.
Oh, amen, sister.
Especially with me.